Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to show you my Gardevoir deck list that I used to get 135th place, I believe, at the Las Vegas Regional Championships. I'm going to go over all the cards I played in my deck list. I'm going to go over all of my matches from what I can remember and anything I'd change going forward. And I haven't really uploaded on this channel at all. I have a lot of subscribers and views from a bunch of old Pokemon Rose compilations, but yeah, I've made absolutely $0 from any of that. So I'm hoping to try and turn this channel into more of a TCG style YouTube channel. And if you want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe. I'm gonna try and make videos like this for every regional I go to. And I go to a lot of regionals, so I think it'll work out good. So first, I'll start with the deck list here. My setup is a little chopped. I don't have a tripod yet, but hoping to get one. Looked around everywhere, couldn't find one. But for Pokemon, we got 3 Ralts, obviously. 2 Kirlia. Some lists play 1, but this list is more heavy towards using TM Evo, so having 2 Curly is nice. 2 Gardevoir, obviously. We have 3 Monkey Dory. I'm just gonna cover this up a little bit. And then this build, there's many different ways to play Guardy, but this build is more of a Flutter main, kind of Team Devo sort of strategy that I tend to really like when playing the deck. And another card that I think went really well in the deck this weekend at Las Vegas was the Frillish. This card I was a big fan of because it helps in 2 big matchups, but it can be useful in just a lot of like weird situations. The 2 main ones are the Dragapult matchup. So what they want to do is they want to kind of just slow you down with Badoo, try and set up Dusclops and Dusknoir, just trying to wipe off your Curlias and Ralts before you can set up. But what the Frillish can do is you can go, after they Itchy Pollen you, you can go Monkey 10 and then retreat to Frillish and then Oceanic Gloom to knock out their Badoo. And this slows them down a lot and gives you a lot more time to set up your board before they can board wipe you, which is really hard for them to do under item lock. So that's the main reason for the card. Also, you don't have to, you know, knock out the Badoo. It's still just nice to have if you need to slow them down at all. And another big matchup it's good in is the Goldango matchup. Most of the Goldangos are playing like Solrock, Lunatone engine. What the Frillish does in that matchup is, what you don't want them to do normally is to kill your Guardy. You never want Guardy to die. But what the Frillish does is makes it so if they do Gust kill your Guardy, discard 7 energy, you can kind of just Frillish them out of the game and just monkey a bunch of damage over and set up for Team Devo. And after they take a 2 prize knockout with Goldango, pretty much every turn you Frillish, you guarantee that they aren't taking 2 prizes. So even if they're at, say, 3 prizes and they just knocked out a Guardy, you can basically get 3 more turns of the game by just using Frillish. And then if they KO your Frillish, you can recover it again, Frillish again, and then hopefully set up for a big TM Devo play. And I'll go over how it was useful for me in my matchups after I'm done going over the deck list. Next, we got Screamtail, best attacker in the deck, not much to say there. And then we got our basic EXs. We got Clefairy, really good against Dragapult. Good play to do against them is to use Mew EX with Clefairy to copy Phantom Dive, and you can like Phantom Dive, kill their Pult, and knock out like a Duskull or a Dracloak if you can Monkey 30 over. Fez, broken card, not much to say there. Now I'll go through the supporters. We got 4 Ionos, pretty standard. Not amazing early game, but late game, just being able to find Iono every turn when you're trying to make a comeback is very critical. So I would not go down to 3. Speaking of 3, we got 3 Lily. Lily is probably the, I don't know if it's the best board in the game, but this card's really good, especially in this version of Guardy, because you can kind of just set up damage and play a slower game and just kind of play Lily over and over again while you're still at 6 prizes, and just keep seeing a bunch of cards in your deck until you're ready to start taking prizes, which is very valuable. Yeah, and this version of the deck, I won't cut down on the lilies. Now, this is something that's a little, like, I wouldn't say controversial, but not ordinary. I play only 1 research in the deck, and 2 Arvin, where a lot of other lists are playing, you know, 2 research, 1 Arvin. But I felt that the original list I went off of was playing 3 rare candy, and I cut the 3rd candy to include the Frillish, but what that hurt is my sort of consistency when it comes to setting up Gardevoir. So I figured cutting the 2nd research for 2nd Arvin means I'm evoing more consistent with Team Evo, and not as reliant on the rare candies, where I feel like if you only play 1 Arvin, you're not seeing Evo as much as you want, and you kind of rely on the rare candies a lot. But with only 2 rare candies, that's a little hard. But with 1 research, it is a little tricky sometimes, kind of just discarding energies, but it wasn't a huge problem with me in the tournament. Like, there were a couple games where, like, I wasn't able to discard as much energy as I'd like, but I don't think it was ever game losing. And then last supporter is Professor Turo. Turo is a really strong card in a lot of situations. I wouldn't say the main reason, but a big reason to play it is the Mega Absol deck that plays 2 Yveltals, and without Turo, what they can do. Also, Grimmsnarl is another deck that plays Yveltal. What you could do, originally, I thought, like, hey, I don't need Turo, I can just, if they want to clutch my Fez, I could either start powering up Fez or just let it die. But what they can do is they can use Petron EX to move their Yveltal to the active spot, which poisons the Yveltal, which means they're building up damage on their board, and they'll have damage to monkey over to your side, which means you can't just let the Fez die, because they can just clutch it a million times, and then eventually they can use their own poison damage, monkey it over, kill your Fez, and then take another 2 prize KO that same turn, which could lose you the game. But with Turo, you don't have to worry about that very much, because if they go for a clutch on your Fez and they like go all in on that play, and then you can just Turo up the Fez, it feels pretty bad for them. It's also just a really good card in the deck to, sometimes you have to overcommit a bunch of energies onto like a Scream Tail, or just have to put a bunch of energy in play just to be able to generate damage for Monkey Dory. Turo is really good to just pick up something with a bunch of energy on it, get those energies back in the discard. Also lets you reset Monkey Dory. A good combo you can do is you can use Turo, or you can Monkey Dory, use Turo, pick up that Monkey Dory, and then Stretcher the Dark, or if you already have a Dark in hand, just attach again, and then you can Monkey Dory again, because it resets it. I think that's all I have to say about that, so I'll go on to items. 4 Ultra Ball, pretty standard. 3 Vessel, 2 Nest Ball, 2 Rare Candy, 2 Counter Catcher, 2 Night Stretcher, 1 Super Rod, and Secret Box. I don't really think there's much to say at all about the items. It's all pretty standard. So next I will go on to stadiums, tools, and energies. I got the 2 Team Evos. I was, before Vegas, I was playing a list with no Frillish and just 1 Arvin, 2 Research, and just 3 copies of Team Evo. What that helped with is just you didn't need to play Arven very much. The idea was just play Research or Lily early game and just kind of draw into Evo, which I really liked, but I found the Frillish had more value just in those two main matchups that I chose to include that over the third Evo. Next we got Team Devo. This is my favorite card in the deck. I love Team Devo. I used it so many times throughout the tournament, even in matchups where you would think it's not good. I think I used it round 1 versus EVBox to Devo a Pidgeot. Yeah, just a really good card. Just use Monkey Dory, move much damage over. It comes really well with Flutter Mane because you can move, you can Monkey over damage and then Flutter Mane. And a lot of the time you can just go Flutter Mane 90 and then put 10 on 2 different Pokemon, because all those guys with like 70 HP, just going 10 on each of them sets them up very well to get Devoed. So yeah, really good card. Would never cut it. Next we got the One Charm. A lot of lists play more than One Charm. Those are more like kind of Drifloon, just kind of more aggressive builds. I still really like Charm in this deck, just being able to charm your Screamtail to make it hit more, or charming say like a Fez or Mew. You can get it out of like a knockout range. You can charm Fez late game, get it out of Blood Moon range if you're worried about that. Yeah, really good card. I don't think I'd ever go up to 2 because it's more of a slow kind of Team Devo style version of the deck, but yeah, still a very good card. 2 Artisan. A lot of lists play the Mystery Garden, but in this list, I think just 2 Artisan is better than the Garden. A lot of the time, you can just kind of checkmate your opponent by like going down to 1 prize and having a Screamtail in your deck. The Artisan just guarantees that you can just Artisan for Screamtail and just win the following turn. But with Mystery Garden, you're more kind of vulnerable to Iono sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. Just having a guaranteed way to find a basic every turn is very strong, and I do really like Mystery Garden as a card, but in this list, I feel like the Artisans are just better. There's not much space to work with to add that card, but I do like it. And then next we got energies. We just got 7 Psychic and 3 Dark. Pretty standard, not much to say there. So yeah, that's my deck list. I will also put just the deck list in the description if you want to copy it. So next I'll go over my matchups, everyone I played against, and yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to go over my matchups that I played against. So round 1, I played against Summer Graves, who's playing EVBox, and I'm just going to take a look at the deck list. Move this over a little bit. Oh yeah. Nothing really out of the ordinary, kind of just a regular EVBox list. Is playing the Sylveon, which a lot have kind of cut from the deck, which is a little surprising, but the deck seems very tight on space. But so yeah, I 2-0'd her. I'm trying to remember because I played so many rounds, it's hard to remember exactly how the games went, but game 1, okay, I'm starting to remember. Game 1, she kind of had a little bit of a slow start, and I was able to kind of set up a Gardevoir before I think she even attacked, which is just really good in this matchup. And what I did is I did prize my Screamtail, which is a really good attacker just in general, also just in this matchup is really good. So I opted to just use Flutter Mane instead, and you can see that she is playing the 50 HP Pidgey, which is pretty good for me because I was able to just monkey 30 to it, and then I used Flutter Mane to kill the active Hoodoo, and then put 2 damage counters on the Pidgey to knock it out, which kind of just put me really far ahead. I think she responded with just like a Burning Charge with Flareon to set up Water Pawn, and then I used UEX to copy Carnelian to just one-shot the Flareon, and I kind of just was able to outpace her in that first game. The second game was a little weirder. I got into a situation where I attacked with Guardy, but I only had one Guardy out, and she plays the Gravity Mountain, which means she'd be able to use Flareon plus Gravity Mountain to knock out Guardy. So what I did, since I had no other Guardy set up, is I benched Clefairy, and I just preloaded a bunch of energies in play and a bunch of damage in play, meaning that even if she were to KO my Guardy and go down to one prize, I'd be able to use Counter Catcher to knock out the Latias that had damage on it, and then Monkey over 30 to KO the Water Pond that had 190 on it that I hit with Guardy. What she did is she wasn't able to get the Flareon KO on my Guardy, so she just sobbed my Guardy, and then I think I was just able to win from there. I remember I went like, maybe I'm getting a little mixed up, but oh yeah, I think she sobbed my lone Guardy in the active, and that turn is when I preloaded the Clefairy, and then I just hit the Water Pond for 190, and I didn't want to knock it out because that would mean that if she were to KO my Guardy with the Flareon, I wouldn't have Counter Catcher available to me. And so I left the Water Pond alive, and then set up a bunch of damage in play, preload the Clefairy, and then when she did take the knockout on my Guardy with the Flareon, I just responded with Counter Catcher on the Latias that had damage on it, and oh wait, I think I was at 3. I didn't even have to kill Latias. I Counter Catchered up Fanradom, and then Monkey killed the Water Pond for game. That's what happened. So yeah, a little bit of an interesting game, but still was able to win that. So I'll go on to my round 2. I played against Chi-Chi, I don't think that's how I pronounce it, who was playing Enzork. I ended up tying, which I was kind of fine with because, you know, I'm playing Guardy. Guardy really doesn't have that many, like, bad matchups, but I'm obviously not happy to hit Zoroark. Probably Guardy's worst matchup. My version of the deck has probably the best Zoroark matchup out of any of the other Guardy builds, just because you have the Flutter Mane to kind of set up Devo. But with the Darmanitan in the deck, it makes it a little interesting because it's kind of hard to, you know, damage Zoroarks because you kind of have to target their Darmanitans down, because just being able to take 2 prizes is very threatening. So I think game 1, I lost game 1. I think I Iona him to 3. He just had 1 Zoroark, which was in the active. And then I attacked with Flutter, which shuts off his only Zoroark's ability in play. But he was kind of able to draw out of that because he was able to find Petrant, and then he moved to the bench, used trade, and then he was able to find Boss to then kill my only Guardy. And then he also Palpatted back double Boss, and then I just scooped there because he was pretty much not guaranteed, but it was very likely he was going to win in the next 2 turns, and I just wanted to scoop early to make sure I have enough time to finish a game 2 or even a game 3. We didn't finish a game 3, but game 2 I was able to win. I prized my Devo, which kind of made me just go down a more like just aggressive route to winning. I was just kind of scream tailing every turn, and at one point I think I used Clefairy with double Monkey because we both had a completely filled bench. So the Clefairy was hitting 220 with 2 monkeys, brings the Zoroark to 280, which KOs it, and I was just kind of able to outpace him. And so I won that game, and then game 3 we went into game 3 with like 3 or 4 minutes, and we each played out 1 turn, and then we're like, we're just gonna tie. So yep. And then next round I played against Jason, who's playing Goldango with the Lunatone engine. Both games I was just kind of able to just set up Devo and kind of just board wipe him. he does play a Hops Cramorant and a Mega Mawile, which kind of give him some more attacking options besides just the Goldango, so it's not like I just win on the spot if I devo all the Goldangos. But when I devoed him, I think both games, I don't think the Cramorant was enough to close out the game for him. So yeah, I played against a lot of Goldango. I'm kind of forgetting exactly how this game went, but I know I just used Devo to kind of board wipe him, and I Ionoed him low after that, and just he wasn't able to play the game. After that, both games. So in the next round, I tied again to a Gardevoir. This guy was really nice, Benjamin. Game 1 came down to, I was kind of like, I didn't know what version of Gardy he was playing at first, and there was a turn where I attacked with Gardy to kill his, I went Counter Catcher, his only monkey with the dark, and then I monkeyed to kill his Screamtail that had 60 on it, and then just KO'd it with Gardy. And he responded with a Drifloon knockout on my Gardy, and then I was not able to set up Gardy for like 2 turns. I think I just had to like collect, and then yeah, it wasn't great after that, but I was able to kind of see a line to come back, and the line was to the line in my head was Iona him to 1, gust up his Fez, and hit it with Gardy, hoping that he can't move it, and that I could try and win the game on the following turn. But the issue with that was that alright, I'm back. I ran out of storage and the end of the video. I had to clear some stuff, but where was I? Oh yeah, I was talking about the Gardevoir that I played against round 4. It's Benjamin, and what was I on? Okay, yeah. The play was I Counter Catchered up his Fez. I didn't need to Iona him because on his last turn he Arvened for Candy Charm and had no other cards in his hand, so I didn't really need to Iona him because that would only be helping him because he just had 2 dead cards in his hand. And so yeah, I just gusted his Fez, hit it for 190, and he had a bench Drifloon with 40 on it. So the goal was to next turn KO the Fez and then also double monkey kill the Drifloon on the bench. But the issue was I prized my Screamtail, and that was my last Counter Catcher. So if he was able to retreat the Fez, which had a Bravery Charm on it, by the way, I wouldn't really have a way to kill it. So I was kind of all in on just, he doesn't have an energy, he can't retreat. That was my win con. He was able to, I don't know if he must have just top decked energy because he retreated into, I forgot. He retreated into something, and then I wasn't able to kill the Fez on the next turn. I wasn't able to take 3 because he monkeyed off his Drifloon, and I only had, I had 2 monkeys set up, so I could either double monkey his Fez to kill the Fez, or I could double monkey to kill the Drifloon, but I can't kill both because I had no bench space for, even if I were to get the Screamtail off the prizes, I didn't have the bench space to bench it. Because on the following turn, I think I like Artisan for Fluttermane, and then like Nestballed for Fez, and then I also had double monkey set up just to try and thin so that I could draw into Candy Gardy, which kind of ended up hurting me because I didn't have the bench space after that, and I think my Churro was already used as well. So game 1, I wasn't able to close it out. I went double monkey to kill the Fez, but he just had a Guardy in the active, and he used that 1 prize, and my only Guardy, he just attacked with his Guardy for 190, so I kind of just lost then. Pretty long game 1. There's an argument that maybe I should have just scooped it faster, but I felt like I had a good line, being Gust the Fez, hope he can't retreat it for a turn. But yeah. unfortunate, but game 2 I was able to win barely at the end of time with I think I went like Scream Tell as fast for game after kind of just a long game of just Scream Telling back and forth, just killing monkeys over and over and over again. But yeah, I was able to make that into a tie, and I did tie a lot of games or sets in this tournament, but which is really weird because I tend to play pretty fast, but I felt like a lot of the time I was just playing best of 2. I think most of my wins were just 2-0s, and most of my ties were obviously just 1-1. I actually didn't lose a set until my second to last round of day 2, which is unfortunate, but I'll get to that when I get to that. Let's see, where was I? Round 5. I played against Saul. I was playing Poltusk, and I think I only used 2 attacks the entire set. Game 1, I kind of just frillished him over and over and over and over again, and he wasn't able to set up, and he scooped. And then game 2, I set up I think he whiffed Badoo, and I was just able to just get out Screamtail and just start Screamtailing every turn, and eventually he just scooped and said I got it. Not much to say there. Round 6, I played against Brian, who's playing, I think, almost exactly what he's playing 1 card off from my list. He's playing a second research over the second Arvin. So pretty much the same list. I was kind of just able to just set up more monkeys and kind of just outpace him, I guess. I don't really know the right word. Yeah, just I was setting up monkeys, killing monkeys every turn. I think game 1 and 2 kind of went just like that. I mean, Gardevoir is complicated, but also pretty simple. When it comes to just, you want to prevent them from getting monkeys and you want to set up your own monkeys. So yeah. In round 7, I played against Reese, who's playing a more like aggressive version of Guardy with Drifloon and 2 Charms, more research, 8 Psychic. Game 1, I think I threw because I went for like a early Fluttermane play, which left me with no Psychic and discard, and I wasn't too worried since he wasn't playing Fluttermane, so I was like, well, I can't Gust Trap my Guardy, so I should be fine. I should be able to discard an energy next turn, but he was able to Gust up my Guardy and then just start Screamtailing monkeys, and I wasn't able to find research energy or vessel energy to be able to retreat the Guardy, so he's able to get 2 free Screamtails in without me doing anything. And I think I went counter catcher up his Fez, and then hit it for 190, and then he retreated, and then I just scooped. And then game 2, I felt like I was winning the whole game. He didn't have much monkeys set up. I think I had 3 monkeys out and he had none, and I had 2 Guardies. I pretty much had the perfect board, and I was really wondering why he wasn't scooping that game faster to give us more time for a game 3, but he was really thinking on what he could do, and yeah, so he lost a pretty long game 2 after I scooped a pretty fast game 1, which gave us 4 minutes left for game 3, which I was not mad about, but it felt bad because I felt that if he were to scoop that second game earlier, we would have enough time for a game 3, so we wouldn't have to tie again, since I already have 2 ties by this round. But the next round I played against Anthony, who's playing Grimmsnarl. Game 1, the whole game I felt like I was losing, but I felt like I had lines to make a comeback. I was able to kind of just mind bend him over and over again. I think I prized my Fluttermane and my Screamtail. The Screamtail didn't matter too much since he had Shaman, but it would still allow me to Screamtail a bench Grimmsnarl if I want. But yeah, I think I prized Screamtail, Fluttermane, Monkey Dark, which made it really awkward to set anything up. but I still was able to pull off a big Devo play to Devo both his Grimmsnarls, and then I Ioned him low, and then I was just kind of able to just take a prize every single turn, chase down his Impidimps, and he was never really able to set up. It came down to, like, I Ioned him to 1 and KO'd something, and if he had, like, Blood Moon, Energy, Boss, he would win, which is, like, near him. Okay, I keep running out of storage. It's really annoying. I have to delete TikTok and Reddit, which I don't feel too bad about, but I'm back now, and I was just talking about the Grimmsnarl game and how it came down to if he was able to find, like, Blood Moon, Energy, Boss off of Ion to 1 for game. If he even plays Blood Moon, I actually need to check. Okay, he was playing Blood Moon. I was kind of assuming he was. It was, like, the main thing I needed to, like, be afraid of. So it's better to play like he does have Blood Moon than like he doesn't. But yeah, he needed a lot to go right for him at the end of the game. With Grimmsnarl doesn't play any onboard draw, so when you get Io to 1, it's kind of hard to find what you need, and I think it was impossible for him to win off of that Iono, since you just need too many cards. So yeah, I won a really long game 1, and then game 2 was just not able to finish. I was just kind of like, I didn't have a great start game 2, so I kind of realized I just really didn't want another tie, and so I was playing to not lose, so I just kept, like, Frilishing him and gusting things, and which gave me enough time for the game to not finish. It wasn't slow playing, just was making it as hard as possible for him to win the game so that I would win the set since I won game 1, which is what happened. And then game 9, I played against Poltusk. I lost game 1 because it was like a weird game 1. Like, he didn't, like, blow up my board, but, like, I still was able to get Guardy out, but he had a lot of liabilities on the bench, so he was kind of able to just take 6 prizes before I could, which happens a lot of the time. So yeah, game 1, I think I Ioned him to 2, and he had 1 Dracloak, and he needed Boss, and then he found the Boss, so he won that. Game 2 and 3, I think I just used Frillish a lot to slow him down, set up my board. I think I prized Clefairy game 2, which was annoying, but he had double Duskull down, and what I did is I went double Monkey, kill 1 Duskull, and then I used Mew to copy Phantom Dive to kill the other Duskull, and then set the Pult up to die next turn, since I didn't have the Clefairy. So that pretty much didn't win me the game on the spot, but it was really good. I was able to win that one, and then game 3 kind of went similar, except this time I did have the Clefairy. I was able to set up and kind of just outpace him. So moving on to, well, round 9 was phase 2, but round 10 was the first round of day 2. I played against Jake, who's playing the Mega Absol box. And game 1, I think, was, like, the most broken hand I had of the entire tournament. I top decked, like, my hand was already broken, and then I top decked Seeker Box. Like, I had, like, double Vessel Arven. And so I was like, cool, okay, Arven for Seeker Box, double Vessel, bin all those energies. And then I top decked the Secret Box, so I just Arvened for my 3rd Vessel, played 3 Vessels, and I also had 2 Ralts in my hand, so I didn't even need Nest Ball at all. So I just triple Vesseled, got everything, and then evoed both my Curlias out. I think with a Monkey inactive, with a Dark too. Like, it literally doesn't get any better than that. And yeah, next turn I think he whiffed Turbo Energize too, and left Kanga inactive, and then I just went double Monkey, Mew EX, and then flipped heads, just killed his Kangaskhan before he had, like, I don't even think he had any energies in play. So then he was thinking for a second, and then he just scooped. And then game 2, I was a much slower start for me. He was kind of able to just rip, like, pretty valuable cards out of my hand to prevent me from setting up anything good. I was, like, I almost made a comeback there, but I wasn't able to, and I scooped it up. I think there was like a turn where I like whiffed Candy Guardy, and so I just scooped it up. Game 3 was a pretty interesting game because I prized my last Guardy, and I think he discarded, I think I like needed to use like one of my recovery pieces, and then he discarded one. So I was out of recovery, so if he were to kill my Guardy, and I didn't get the Guardy off the prizes that turn, and the Guardy was stuck in my second Guardy was stuck in the prizes, I wouldn't be able to get to a Guardy next turn. So I had to, well, I went double monkey to kill his benched Absol, because I went, on the previous turn, I used, it had a mist energy on it, so I just like moved 60 and then used Mew-EX to just hit it for 200, and then discard a card from his hand, which set it up for me to next turn. He wasn't able to charm it, since he had either one, I know he had one charm in play for sure, I don't know about the second, or maybe he plays 3 charms, I don't know. But he wasn't able to charm that Absol, which meant I went double monkey to kill that Absol, take 3. I didn't get the Guardy off the prizes, and so I didn't want to leave Guardian active, so I retreated to Screamtail. I Ionoed him to 3, because I believe he has that 3. And then I just hit his Absol for 80 with Screamtail to try and set it up for next turn for me to kill it. And he wasn't able to boss kill my Guardy. I was talking to him after. I think he had boss kill on the Guardy, but he didn't go for it because he assumed I just had another Guardy. So what he did is he just clutched to kill my Screamtail, and then I was able to Night Stretcher the Screamtail back and then win by KOing the Absol. Oh yeah, I think I turret up the Guardy and then evolved my Curly to Guardy to get the energies off the Guardy, and then I had enough to Screamtail kill the Absol. So I did have a stretcher left, but I was worried about him killing my only Guardy and then discarding my last stretcher. So yeah, I was able to win that. If he had killed my Guardy, it might have been a different story, but I'm still happy with the win there. Round 11, I played against Summit. Game 1, I didn't have a great board. He went like Dusknor, my Curlia, and then Bedewed me, and I never really got Guardy out. I think I manually attached the Clefairy and then went for a counter catcher kill on his Dusclops with Clefairy, but then he just killed my Clefairy, and I wasn't really able to make a comeback there. So I lost game 1. Game 2, I won by going Mew, copy Phantom Dive with Clefairy on bench for game to kill his Pult, and a Dracloak because I moved 30 to take my last 3. And then game 2, I was playing really, really fast because I was certain I was going to win. But we were running out of time. I think we went into game 3 with 9 or 10 minutes left. And so I was playing as fast as I can. I probably wasn't playing perfectly, but I just wanted to finish the game. And let's see. Just thinking. Yeah. He had no Dracloak set up. I was just Screamtailing every turn, just getting rid of his energies, killing Duskulls, and kind of just making it impossible for him to win. So he was just trying to play for the tie, so yeah, and he was able to stall long enough, or take enough game actions in time to force out a tie, which I was kind of upset about, but I think I did as best as I could to play as fast as I could. Maybe there were a couple things I could have done differently, but I was literally just going draw, Screamtail, draw, Screamtail. I wasn't even thinking. I was I just need to finish this game. But yeah, he was making a lot of actions and played a lot of like Poffins, like used Artisan, played Lilies, and like just took up a lot of time and was able to force the tie, which felt bad. And then round 12, I played against Caleb Rogerson, who was playing Goldango Lunatone. Game 1, he got a DPL because he drew under, like he went like draw for turn, and then like immediately used coin bonus to draw 2, but I had a Flutter inactive, so I called the judge over, and it was a DPL, but the DPL, like, it wasn't a huge deal because a lot of time in the matchup, I'm just trying to like Devo him out of the game, so it's not like as detrimental as it sounds, but I was able to set up that, or I was setting up the Devo play. I had a bunch of damage on his board, and he scooped it up pretty fast. Game 2, I kind of wasn't drawing very well, didn't set much up. I scooped game 2 pretty fast. And then game 3, I kind of just board wiped him with Devo, and his only line of play that I saw was like, I knew he was playing Vitality Band because there was a Vitality Band on his Soul Rock, and after I devoted him, he was at 1 prize. And so I was worried if he had Premium Power Pro plus Boss, then he could kill a monkey with the Soul Rock, but he wasn't able to get that off of like a bunch of Ionos. And he was playing Monkey Dory, so I don't think he was playing the I'm gonna look at his deck list. Yeah, he wasn't playing the Premium Power Pro, but a play he could do, since he was playing Monkey, and there was 20 on the Lunatone, is move 30 with Monkey, and then go Boss Cosmic Beam for 80 on a Monkey. Oh wait, he's not playing Vitality Band. Sorry, he was. I don't remember. But yeah, I like monkeyed and like only left him with the 20 in play, so he couldn't go Monkey Dory 30, Boss Vitality to kill Monkey. And the monkeys are my only 1-prizers on the bench, or 1-prizers on the bench. So yeah, he just wasn't able to do that, and then also isn't playing the Premium Power Pro, so that play wasn't even available for him. So yeah, just devoed him, and then just was able to take the rest of my prize cards after that. Next round, I played against another Goldango Rocks. Game 1, I prized my Devo, which is really bad in this matchup. So I just like went for like a Scream Tail. I misplayed because I monkeyed 20 onto a Gimme Ghoul and then hit his Goldango hit his other Goldango for 240. And since he had already used a Turo, I felt like it was fine to kind of leave it alive. But no, I think that was a mistake, because then he just Turo'd up the Goldango, and then he had like a lot of cards in hand too, so it wasn't unreasonable for him to have that. So I should have just killed the Goldango, try to get the Devo off the prizes. And so next turn, I like went like Counter Catcher, a Goldango, double Monkey, kill it with Guardy. I didn't get the Devo off the prizes, so I just scooped. Game 2, I was able to go for a Devo play, take 3, and then he returned with like a attacked with Mega Mawile to kill a monkey, and then I like went for Counter Catchered up a Lunatone with no energy. I Ionoed him to 2, or it was either 1 or 2. I think it was 2. Yeah, it was 2. I Ionoed him to 2, and then just Frillished his Lunatone, and then I monkeyed 30 to the Mega Mawile. It was either 30 or 60. And then next turn, I used my second Counter Catcher to bring up the Mawile, double Monkey, kill it with Guardy. And then game 3, my hand was pretty reliant on Fez. He took 1, I benched Fez, drew 3, didn't really find much. I charmed the Fez, and then he was able to go boss kill my Fez, and then I just was draw passing for the rest of the game. So not much I can do there. But yeah, that was my first loss. of the tournament was round 13 against Bodie. And then final round, I played against Terrabox. Game 1, I won. He like went for, I think I opened Mew-EX, and instead of going for Water Pond, he just killed it with went like Crispin to Clefairy, killed a Clefairy, and then I only had 2 Psychic and Discard, so I killed his Clefairy with my Clefairy. I Ionoed him to 4, and he just wasn't able to do anything after that, and so he scooped. Game 2, I kind of had a not great start. Wasn't able to make a comeback there. Game 3, I thought I was like completely chilling. I like opened like a pretty good hand going first. Was able to get double Ralts down, and I opened a Monkey. And I had Secret Box in hand too. I chose first because I think you're supposed to choose first against Terrabox and pretty much any Noctowl deck. But yeah, so I like opened a pretty good start going first. I opened Secret Box, got a good setup, got Lily for next turn, and then he was able to go turn 1 Crispin to Water Pond that he opened, and just had a Crystal in hand, so was able to go Water Pond, 100 on my Monkey, 100 on my Ralts. I still was left with a Ralts in play, so it wasn't like I was out of it, but just that the pressure of the turn 1 Water Pond was just kind of hard to deal with. And what I did is I was able to set up a Guardy, and I Iono him to 4, and then kill his Water Pond. So now his board, I believe, was just Latias, Terapagos, and 2 Hoodoos. And off of the Iono to 4, he was able to find, because I killed the Water Pond with Guardy, and I didn't have a backup Ralts or anything, because I just wasn't able to find a backup Ralts. So yeah, I went Monkey to his Water Pond, kill the Water Pond with Guardy, and then I Iono him to 4. He was able to find like an insane combo to kill my Guardy, since he was down his Crystal, because it was on the Water Pond that I killed. To kill my Guardy, who he would have needed, he had no energy in play as well. He would have needed Teal Mask, Teal Dance, Pikachu EX, E-Switch to the Pikachu, and then Crispin. And so off the Iono, he drew into Fez. Was able to Fez to find, I think, the Teal Mask plus the energy, Teal Dance, had Noctowl, and then Noctowled for Crispin, E-Switch, I believe, and then was able to kill my Guardy, which was really bad. That was my only Guardy, and I responded with like a Counter Catcher on his Noctowl. I Ionoed him, and I was able to set up our Ralts. But next turn, since my other Guardy was prized, and I had to use Stretcher to get back the Ralts, I would have needed to get Guardy, I would have needed Super Odd, plus a way to find Guardy, plus Rare Candy, which is pretty hard for me to find. So yeah, I like Gus's Noctowl, I Ionoed him, was trying to stall for some time to get myself set back up, and he drew into, I think, just research off of the Iono, and was able to get a big hand, and I had no way to Iono him on the next turn, and he just was able to win. Yeah, moved the Noctowl of the active, and I think killed whatever I had in the active, like a Monkey, and then went down to 1. I wasn't able to disrupt him at all, and yeah, so he was able to win that. But overall, I felt pretty good about how I played during the tournament. I felt like my 2 losses were not completely out of my control, because like game 1 versus Bodie, I felt like I definitely made some mistakes there, but I felt like I played pretty good throughout, and I'm not too butthurt about my losses. I felt like I besides a couple minor things, I felt like I did what I could in the matchup. Sometimes things just don't go your way, and that's fine. But yeah, if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. I'm gonna try and post more TCG content, but I don't got a schedule, so don't get your hopes up too much. But yeah, that'll be all. I hope you enjoyed.